It is Wednesday night, and you know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Greg Cherry Show alongside the reigning Jack of all trades champion, Jeff Meacham. I am your reigning WTC World Champion, Greg Cherry. Before we get into our show, I do want to address something. I want to give a shout out and well wishes to Jessie Davin,
Yes.
who is going through an incredible, she's going through a ton medically. And I just want to say, we're not super close or anything. We just follow each other on Twitter. So it's not like one of those things. But she's a very positive face in the online wrestling community. And I just feel like she needs all of us to send her thoughts, prayers, all that.
Definitely.
For her to get through that. I mean, she's got a family, she's got a husband, 2 kids. So I just hope for the best for her. Jesse, if you watch this at any point, we're pulling for you. Get home to your family. I just wanted to say that at the top of the show, just because.
It's not funny, obviously. It's funny that you mentioned this today, when tomorrow I'm going to be kind of close to here where I am now. You'll remember very vividly when I went to Disneyland. I guess it was 4 years ago now that I beseeched Santa Claus for the opportunity to regain my championship, and it worked. So I'm definitely going to visit Santa wherever he is tomorrow. I don't know where they have him stationed at the parks right now with all the COVID nonsense, but I'm definitely going to have Santa send along his holiday juju for Jessie, because Lord knows if anybody needs it, it's her, and deserves it, it's her. So, Jess, we're pulling for you, love.
All right, now on to what we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
As always on today's show, football wrestling discussion, probably a few more in the sports realm.
Yeah,
we're going to be talking
about this week.
Yeah, I might as well just put sports discussion. Weird state laws, Georgia edition, and the Wednesday Q&A. And before we get into any of that, as he does every week, because we appreciate him, we love him, Brett Storm has graciously donated to get a spin on the new and improved wheel.
Ooh.
All right, so here we go. I even changed the colors of it. Colors, I tell you.
The colors.
Shout out to Little
As if the background wasn't colorful and freaking kaleidoscope enough for you, now you got the wheel, it's all colorized too.
Yeah. So Brett, the bankrupt is still there, as you can see. But I've added a few new spots to make my life a little harder, but also make my life a little better.
Yes.
So let's see what fortune you get from this wheel. Here we go.
May fortune favor the foolish.
You get an entrance. All right.
Ooh,
that can still be physical in some aspect,
Yes.
All right.
We'll see what comes.
Brett, let me know what entrance you would like me to do in the comments, and I'll do it for you.
I love this. Josh makes a good point. Brett Storm's the new Big G in terms of the donations. No kidding. Yeah. God bless both those guys.
Absolutely.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's definitely greatly appreciated.
Big time. There we go.
I changed the graphic. Yay. Yay. So we're going to talk about sports. What in the world is happening in the NFL?
I fully admit Sunday was my last day off of doing anything before next Friday, a week from tomorrow. So I'm sleeping in. The hell with this crap. I wake up and it's a what the hell's going on this weekend? First of all, I'm gonna address the big elephant in the room on your end. The hell with the Detroit Lions, those bastards. They suck so bad they can't win a game, but they still manage to screw up everybody's damn pick 'em got screwed up by that game. Everybody. Not one person I think had a inkling of thought that was gonna be a friggin' tie. So screw you, Detroit and your damn Lions.
I said it a couple years ago about the Browns losing ways, because the Browns ended their losing streak with a tie against the Steelers, and the Lions do very much the same. And I had a bad feeling as soon as they showed the clip of the coin toss with Bettis from '98 Thanksgiving, like that gives me PTS freaking D. It's like that coin toss, the referee not paying attention, realizing what Bettis said. He called tails, and it was tails, and he gave it to the Lions.
Yeah,
because he thought he said heads. You can clearly hear Jerome Bettis say heads. Like it's not a controversy. Yes, I'm mad about something that happened 23 years ago. Okay, like let me have this.
But it is the worst. It is the worst. One of the worst referee botches in the history of professional competitive sports. Like, my God. It's just so bad.
Some of those calls, I feel like some of the calls that went against the Steelers on Sunday were to make up for the calls that went against the Bears the Monday before. Like they're trying to balance it out with bad calls.
That's like not how it works, guys.
Yeah, it's like you don't get to like redo it. And of course, I didn't see a single person post about how bad the calls were against the Steelers.
Oh no,
I didn't see a single person. My Twitter was flooded with tweets about how bad the calls were against the Bears. The calls against the Steelers, radio silence. And I'm like, I called this. I tweeted it out. It's like, nobody's going to call out how bad the calls were. Lo and behold, nobody calls out how bad the calls were.
No, I only didn't because I knew I'd have two platforms between yesterday's Semi Sports Bar and today with you. I knew we were talking about it with you without a question. So it was just, that was like the microcosm of how much of a shit show this weekend was. And really. Yeah. It was a complete mess. The Cowboys somehow managed to get through and still win unscathed and whoop that ass. So I'm okay with that part of it. But yeah, it was just a mess. I mean, freaking Brady losing to the freaking team with no name. It's like, okay, let's have the Ed Leslie of the NFL beat the freaking Super Bowl champion. Let's go ahead and do that today. It was just a completely bonkers NFL weekend. At least the Monday night game was halfway decent and not so cray.
Josh Mansfield and I were talking the Thursday night game when the Ravens played the Dolphins.
Oh, another
were laughing our asses off.
Right.
Honestly.
Screw those guys.
Just because the Miami Dolphins have been consistently not that great over the last few years.
Right.
And holy crap, was it an enjoyable experience to watch the Ravens get stymied by Baltimore or by Miami.
If I hadn't picked Baltimore in the pick 'em because that was what smart money was, I would have been less pissed off, but it was still great to see. Don't get me wrong.
And Josh, I started Brady in my league too. The difference is I ended up playing against two different people who did not set the rosters. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Brady losing that game.
Cheap wins are still wins.
Right. No matter what, she seems to win. Well, that's because she's Kate and she wins anyway. She wins in life.
Of course she does.
She's great.
We'll have to get her on the show at some point.
Got to get her on. You got to get her in here. Just knock both of us at the same time. It'll probably make her brain explode, but we'll see what we can work out.
I don't know. I mean, she's a Yankees fan. She's a Steelers fan. She's a wrestling fan. She's good people to me.
Well, yeah, but once you get outside the wrestling part, her and I don't have. It's like I'm freaking ganged up on there. But it's your show, so there you go.
There you go. So Brett, I'm going to interrupt the conversation a little bit. Brett did send me an entrance, and in the spirit of Ruthless Aggression Season 2 coming out this Sunday, he sent me Hollywood Rock, which is actually a relatively simple entrance to do, but
sorry. I think who is a Hollywood version of The Rock? God, my brain just completely derped. I had no idea what. Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. You just walk out there all cocky. You're good to go.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the song's great. That's probably my favorite Rock's theme song.
All right, so I'm going to do the solo layout, move the camera, and you're going to see a little Hollywood Rock action.
I'm going to go ahead and mute so I can have my Dylan's coming in from the school.
Okay.
It's the easiest thing to do in this entrance thing. It really is. There you go. There it is. Go check if there's something outside for delivery, or she's just barking at a bark. Was there somebody at the door?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
All right. So that was that.
And Brett being honest, I mean, that's the only reason we do anything with the Hollywood Rock is to listen to that Hollywood Rock theme song. It's the best thing, one of the best things ever.
Yeah.
I will always regret Team XMV not going to WrestleMania 19 in Seattle because we were thinking about it. And man, that match with Hollywood Rock against the outgoing Steve Austin was special. So it would have been cool.
I mean, WrestleMania 19 is arguably the greatest WrestleMania of all time. Everybody says 17, but 19 is a damn close competitor if it doesn't edge it.
19 is just stacked with ruthless aggression combined with touches of the past. Vince, Hulk, Austin and Rock from the Attitude Era. Like that show has something for everybody. Every fan of the WWE since the 1980s is in there. I mean, Piper's there, Hogan's there. You've got touches of everything. It definitely is in the argument for the greatest WrestleMania of all time. People, of course, 17 was the pinnacle of the company's success. I mean, they had vanquished their enemies completely and thoroughly, right? Mm. But 19 was a time where it could have really fallen flat on its face. And instead it just whooped that ass from start to finish.
So. Absolutely. Back into the sports discussion. Yes. Thank you, Brett, for that spin. Greatly appreciated. Making my life a little easy with the entrance. Thank you.
Yes.
See, it's one of those things where, like, if I had like a full-blown studio and the room to do it, I could do more in-depth stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which I would love to do. Like, I would love to have the lighting and stuff. And that's why I need to get back on my TikTok entrances, honestly.
Yes.
Because those with the full lighting and the production,
right?
Those are the ones to check out.
That'd be awesome. And and to be fair to both of us, I've got the green screen behind me now, finally, after almost 2 years, right? So to be able to have, if you had something like that behind you in a studio environment, which I'm hoping to get into when we get to their house, it'll be easier to pull off stuff like that on a more not awesome, but like more professional looking basis, I guess what I'm trying to say. So.
I feel like the Patriots are starting to come in their own with Mac Jones because they done whooped on Cleveland. Right? Like,
yeah,
the bottom is starting to fall out for the Browns.
Yeah,
or as Pat McAfee calls them, the Browns. Really, any Pittsburgher.
Right.
Trying to embrace my Pittsburgher by doing the sound a little bit more.
Speaking of that, by the way, I know you're going to talk about the Browns here and the Patriots again. I'm only happy they won because I picked the Patriots because that just seemed like the right thing to do. I'm still pissed they won just because Patriots and reasons. But
yeah.
How about your boy Graves? Finally gets a singles championship in the WWE.
Yeah.
24/7, but he's still a champion.
It's a 24/7 championship, but
that's it.
It's like I tweeted out to him. It's like, now is Mela going to brag because her reign was longer?
Right. I saw that. I almost messaged him like, I don't want to poke the bear. But you know what? It's great because Saxton got him. I'm like, why is the Shut Up Saxton shirt not immediately back on sale? Why is this not a thing? Like, that should be instantaneous. Like, he screwed him out of the championship. That should be an immediate reissue. But of course, they want to, don't be a bully stuff. It's like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
I almost want to have that shirt made just to wear it on the show with you, just to have the Corey Graves shirt mean something,
Oh. I mean, a shirt designer.
I know I do, but the thing is, it's a matter of taking it to somewhere and you being able to do it on Teespring or whatever because the fact is, it's a flat out WWE design. So you have to tweak it.
I don't have to copy their design, and the name Saxton isn't trademarked per se. Like just Saxton is not like a trademark thing per se. So I could make my own Shut Up Saxton shirt.
You could. I think what makes the shirt though is Corey's face right there on the thing, just with a look of disdain. Like,
yeah, that I couldn't do. That I
that
can
you
do.
could do
That's a
without some
license-
serious
that's like a
issues. Yes.
name, image, license thing. I can't, or name, image, likeness. I can't do that.
But legit, that was my first thought. Like, where's the Shut Up Saxton line, and where's the T-shirt being reissued? Like right now, it was just there. But it was really cool to see him get a single shot. It was cool to see him tweet out he misses it. Like he may be thinking about going the Austin Edge and etc. route and trying to get back into it.
Well, maybe not the Austin because he still hasn't done it.
Well, but Austin at least he knows he's in game shape. If he wants to, throw on the black boots, the black trunks, and the black vest, he can. So, but Edge has come back. We've seen Bryan Danielson come back, and oh my God, the American Dragon's been unleashed now, which is great. People have come back from this when 10 years ago it was like, nope, you're done. That's it. There was no discussion about it. If you had that kind of injury, you were done. So yeah. Medical science. So it is possible.
So I think I tweeted at Graves when he was coming back. I was like, January is a good time to come back.
Just saying. That'd be a great surprise. I'm not gonna lie. It'd be cool to see him come out there and shock the world, even for a brief couple minutes.
Mm-hmm. Like just to get back in there. I mean, how many times have commentators entered the Royal Rumble? It's happened multiple times.
Yeah, all three of them in the same match at one point.
God, that match was awful.
It really was.
The 2012 Rumble, if you guys watch my Rumble countdown, was probably one of the first ones I talked about because it was that low on the list.
It was so bad.
I hate the 2012 Rumble so much.
There is not one redeeming quality about that match for me. I mean,
no, because I think the wrong person won.
Without question. I mean,
like I like Sheamus, and like Sheamus's moment at WrestleMania was cool, but Jericho should have won the Rumble.
Now, Jericho not winning the Rumble and still getting the title shot, it's like, why just have him win the Rumble? What was the point of that ridiculous tease? Like, geez, it's ridiculous. And to have, again, I know Sheamus fans, I know he had the moment, but it was at the expense of Daniel Bryan, which pissed me off to no end. I know you were there for that one, so I know that was an interesting thing to see up close. But it was, for me, it pissed me off so much because of how much of a friend I am of Bryan Danielson, and I have been for so many years. I was like, really? But again, like we talked about, if you don't have that moment, you don't have the evolution of the mental breakdown. You don't have the yes, no stuff come up. You don't have Team Hell No come up. You don't have any of that happen. So,
like I said, I feel like it was one of the best things to happen to him in hindsight.
Yes. With the benefit of 2020 hindsight, that was one of the greatest things that ever happened to his career. So,
all right. What happened to the scores?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna glance over the scores, see if there's anything else interesting to talk about. The
Titans
are still rolling,
right?
The Colts beat the Jags.
There were games. Most of the games this weekend were either they went completely the way they were supposed to, like the Cowboys' domination, or
the Cowboys just went out and whooped on Atlanta.
Dude, they went in there after having lost because of last week. They're like, nope, no more of this crap.
How about the Panthers? How about the Panthers smacking the Cardinals in the mouth?
Well, what was that shit? Like, it's again, I said a couple weeks ago, I don't know if I was on View with Mikey, do not count Carolina out yet, man. They've got a hell of a reserve bank in their gas tank. So don't even count them out, man. They might do some shit here before the season's over.
Like, did the return of Cam Newton just like send a surge throughout the entire organization, or what?
You know what? I was not happy with Cam going to New England because, again, reasons. But him getting released from them and then going right back to Carolina and then just doing what he did this weekend, it really makes me wonder if Cam did that almost on purpose, like tried to go somewhere else and it didn't work. And then the entire city, it seemed like, was rejuvenated by his return. So maybe it was one of those things where you had to see exactly how green the grass was over there before you came back and started, tending your own lawn again.
Yeah. Chiefs whooping on the Raiders also. And then the 49ers just humiliating the Rams. That's not what I saw coming.
Yeah. I mean, they're in Santa Clara, so I don't necessarily not expect that. But yeah, it was pretty much a thumping.
So
my buddy Christian was happy though because he was there. He's an LA boy, but his family has roots in the Bay Area, so he gets to any 49ers home game he can. He's great, and he likes the Chargers more than the Rams. So he was just no, I'm sorry, he likes Chargers. He despises the Rams, so he was on a cloud. Are you kidding me? So it was rough though.
Josh is not an Odell Beckham Jr. fan. Honestly, Josh, I wouldn't be talking about where OBJ went after the smackdown that the Patriots laid on the Browns. So
I was gonna say, yeah, it's yeah.
Like I'm not gonna talk smack on the Browns either. Like I know we didn't lose on Sunday, but it's not exactly a win.
Seriously, if Detroit brings you to a tie, is it really a tie, or is it just like you guys just?
Somebody posted that Tomlin is doing his damnedest to, even in a 17-game season, get a 500 record. And like, I kind of had to chuckle at that. It's like,
he's not wrong.
Yeah, I guess if they go 8-1, it's still 500, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
Lions take on the Browns this week, which
can we just, like,
I don't know. Like the Browns are going to have to like get their stuff together if they want to beat Detroit.
I was just stadium implosion.
Can you imagine? Like that would be the most Cleveland thing of all time. If the Browns at home lost to the winless Lions.
Yeah. And there's no love lost between those two cities.
No.
At all. So it's yeah.
The only two teams in NFL history to have a winless season.
Yeah. The fun thing is the people I know in our circle that would care about that the most city-wise don't watch regular sports on a regular basis. So it's like, who do we like, because Aaron doesn't care. I don't think Caitlin cares about the Lions. I don't know that. I mean, I know they're Red Wings fans there, which,
Lady Aaron does. Lady Aaron's
a big Wings fan, but I know Caitlin goes with her to the games a lot too. So I know they're Wings people. I just don't know about the Lions.
No, Lady Aaron is a Lions fan because
I got you. Well, okay, well then hopefully maybe we'll see a little trip in between Lady Aaron and Virtue this weekend. It will be always fun to watch.
Well, Virtue doesn't care about the Browns. He's a Broncos fan.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Wow. So should you much pay attention.
I'm not making a bet on the Lions Browns game, Josh. I don't care.
Nope.
Nope. It's bad enough that the Steelers tied them. I want nothing to do with over-unders on the Lions.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with Detroit until the season's over and they figure out that the universe makes itself right again.
The Ravens and the Bears happen this weekend.
Jeez.
The Cowboys take on the Chiefs in Kansas City.
I know.
And you know what? If it was the Chiefs of the last year or two, you'd probably have to be worried. This season, I don't know. Like, you might have an edge.
I would hope so. Well, either way, we're playing them this weekend, and then we go right into Thanksgiving. We play the Raiders on Thanksgiving, which is always an adventure.
Well, speaking of the Raiders, they play the Bengals, and the Steelers have the Sunday night game again against the Chargers. Well, I don't know why the Steelers have so many damn primetime games.
Because they're one of the best teams in history. So, the NBC wants to showcase them.
I guess. It doesn't make kind for a East Coast Steelers fan to watch night games all the time when he's got to work the next day.
I'm just glad we're not playing Philadelphia on Thanksgiving because I hate when that happens. Usually, especially with my aunt's here because she's an Eagles fan. Her son, my cousin's an Eagles fan, and just we either hate Thanksgiving or we're freaking parading around Thanksgiving. There's no in between. This is terrible. So luckily we're playing the Raiders, and they're not coming, so it works out.
So there you go.
That's a rough weekend in the NFL.
I don't have much to talk about college because the college football playoff rankings didn't really change from last week. I think Notre Dame
there was a lot of
spot.
Yeah, there was a lot of surprises this weekend. So
it's going to get really interesting in the last couple of weeks once conference championships and that happen. So not a whole lot to talk about there.
There was stuff at least out this way that made my even as recently as last night and yesterday we had everybody at home was watching on Jeff's channel. Be prepared for a brief moment of insanity. All right, here we go. Not only did the Ducks pull off two major milestones last night, they reached 1,000 franchise wins, And Ryan Getzlaf, their captain, reached 1,000 points in the first 4 minutes of the game, which was, I think it was so cool for him and for the Ducks franchise. There's very few people in this profession that reach 1,000 points. Yes, I know Wayne Gretzky exists. Get off my back. But what's really funny is he's not one of the 4 people here in Los Angeles to reach 1,000 points. You might need to take off your graphic there when I put this up, Greg. Yeah. So those 4 guys have gotten the points. Of course, Marcel Dion, Luc Robitaille, our current captain, it's an old picture, obviously, Anze Kopitar, and then the man the arrow pointing to him was Marcel's line mate. I don't have a picture with him for whatever reason, which I think was silly. Dave Taylor. So we have a lot of cool, but yeah, Gretzky never reached 1,000 points in our uniform, but he's still the most. He could have 0 goals and still be the all-time points leader. That's how awesome he was at the game. But congrats to Getzlaf. Congrats, Ducks. Okay, I'm good. Oh Lord.
Doesn't suck giving praise to other.
Hate it. And you know what? I lived with JJ for as long as I did, and he tried to preach me tolerance and being more tolerant of the other teams in the league. It's like no, the hell with the Ducks, the hell with the Sharks, the hell with our division. Screw them all. Vegas I tolerate because of my best friend. Other than that,
I mean,
then
you'll rarely see me give praise to Baltimore, or Cleveland, or Cincinnati.
Well, Baltimore, especially after last year. Jagoffs.
Yeah, Baltimore. I still haven't forgiven Baltimore for breaking all sorts of COVID protocols and getting away squeaky clean.
Yeah, I will
and
never
costing
forget.
us Bud Dupree and probably the season.
Yeah, I will never forget that week when Baltimore was still on their little timeout and Denver had to play. Who was it that played quarterback that week? One of their safeties,
one of the receivers.
Yeah, it was like one of those. Okay, so Denver has to play, but you all in purple and black can sit there on a timeout because it was very, very double standard. I'm not happy about myself. It didn't really affect me directly, and it still pisses me off. So
the fact that we went live with this show, which was still in the afternoon before the game happened, that was absurd.
Very much.
Here it is, a Wednesday afternoon, and then the Steelers go and play on a Wednesday afternoon. What the hell was that?
It was so stupid. Completely, utterly stupid.
I'm allowed to be salty about that. The Steelers won. That was what was. But I feel like that completely screwed the trajectory of the rest of the season.
It very much did. People talk about, it's not that. It's who plays. No, mental stuff is real, man. When you get your head psyched out, it is a legitimate thing. And when you get yourself all worked up to do one thing, you have to do something completely different on the fly. That's a bitch internally. So anyway, and then Josh, late last night. I mean, late. So Thanksgiving is us again. Cowboys and Raiders. I'm not sure about the primetime game though.
The Bears and the Lions at 12:30 Eastern.
Right.
Raiders and the Cowboys at 4:30 Eastern, and then the Thursday night game, which is typically supposed to be like a rivalry, like a division rivalry.
Yeah.
It's the Bills and the Saints, who aren't even in the same conference.
Huh.
Which I'm like, what exactly rivalry is there with the Bills and the Saints?
Usually Thanksgiving is a day of rivalry games. We're not even in the same division.
Yeah,
what the hell?
Like the Steelers and the Ravens. I mean, I guess the Steelers played the Lions on a primetime game, and that was AFC against NFC. I don't know. Maybe it was just a couple times that they did that, and now it's just, hey, you guys have a free spot. You're playing the Thursday night game. I don't know.
Yeah. So then we get the news late enough where the actual press release was dated today, even though it was last night. We're getting a name change out here in Los Angeles. We're going to go from being Staples Center to the Crypto.com Arena.
That just seems like a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. I said this to you out there. Some people said, we're just going to call it the Crip. Probably not a good idea to call it Crip with a blue tint in Los Angeles. Just throwing that out there. Just saying, guys. But if you know, you know. If you don't, educate yourself and run like hell. That's a good question. There you
what's Notre Dame's record so far this year? So Notre Dame right now is 9-1. And they are like just sitting outside the college football playoff bubble. They basically have to win their last 2 games, which are very doable. Stanford's not very good. Georgia Tech's not very good. Of course, that doesn't mean anything for the Irish. That means they'll probably play them close. Because that's just what happens. But their path to the college football playoff is they basically have to win out. Like that's
there's no
Like if they lose one of those games, there's absolutely no chance. There might not still be a chance even if they do go 11-1. But the first thing they have to do is take care of business. The rest will sort itself out. Kirk Herbstreit and another college football announcer were trying to debate if a 2-loss Alabama should get in the playoff. And I'm like, you can piss off. If Bama loses twice and gets in the playoff, screw you and your SEC bias and shove the college football playoff up your ass.
Exactly.
Like there's a 2-loss team should not be in the playoffs over a 1-loss team and or an undefeated team. Cincinnati is still not in the playoffs right now. They're unbeaten. I understand strength of schedule, but they're still undefeated.
Yeah. It is very bogus. It's 100% bogus. And again, like I said, I understand strength of schedule too, but you don't go undefeated or 1 loss, no matter if you're playing, it's everybody out there's got their own strengths and their own weaknesses. If you're going 9-1, 8-1, 10-0, whatever it is, you're a dominant team. You deserve to be in the playoffs. Period. End of story. I said what I said. So it's ridiculous.
And Notre Dame, like the last couple games, I think they've only given up. They've given up less than 14 points the last 2 games total.
They've been dominant enough where it shouldn't even be a friggin' question.
Yeah.
And it is.
So
bullshit.
And they went up against an offense that was, from what the commentators were saying, the best offense in the country. And they held them to less than a touchdown. That's saying something, especially when they don't have Kyle Hamilton, the best defensive player they have.
Right.
So
exactly.
I'm trying to talk myself into it, but at the same time, it's like, do I want to face Georgia? Because the path to the college football championship is going to go through the Bulldogs.
Absolutely.
It just is.
Yeah.
Like, it pains me to admit that, because it's like, obviously I would like to see a Notre Dame championship in my lifetime, like actually get to witness it. Because one has happened in my lifetime. I was just 2 when it did.
Right.
I just want to be able to watch a Notre Dame game and have that moment of celebration with my dad. Like, that's what I want.
Right. See, that is exactly what I had when the Kings won the Stanley Cup. I was standing right next to my father, who I'd been gone to the games with my entire, at that time, 29 years. And it was, I think we were various degrees of bawling the last 5 minutes of the game just because we knew it was going to happen. So it was just amazing. It's always the best when you get to experience that championship win, whatever level of sport you're on, with the person who brought you into it, the person who raised you, that kind of emotional attachment. It's so freaking cool.
I want to address this before I talk about something else.
Yes.
SRS posted that he's been battling depression, and I know what that's like. So, Sean, much love and prayers to you, brother. You're definitely a hard worker. You're definitely get yourself out there, and you're surrounded by people that love you. Despite all the people talking shit on you, which is ridiculous at some point. Like,
it really is.
The guy's just doing his job, and he has opinions, and people are just really weird about the wrestling opinions. I don't understand it. Like, why? Like, we, I'm sure, have some absurd opinions about wrestling, but we don't get angry about it.
I am angry at their responses to my feeling. It's like, and again, we've gone to the Twitter discussion multiple times over the last few weeks. It's just like, people don't understand that, people behind those certain characters that, actually have their face on there, or whatever, actually verified or whatever, are actually legitimate people. And it's very easy to, chop down a person when you're behind a computer screen, 3 time zones away, or whatever the case may be. So Sean's definitely dealing with it. We've all dealt with that to a certain extent during this crisis, but some of us our whole lives have dealt with the depression and anxiety of the world. So I totally sympathize with Sean and having the need to get that out there and be like, hey, I'm struggling. Hey, I'm, dealing with this, but I'm still going forward with my stuff, which I think is admirable. And I think it's great of him to do that. Yeah. So,
I mean, I posted like something like that earlier.
So
off the topic of that, I don't know how I'm transitioning into this, but Brett sent in another donation. So thank you very much, Brett. He said he tried to come up with something witty, but just couldn't come up with something. So he's like, here's another donation. Anyway,
well, if we get a karaoke or an entrance, I want to ask for a Mickey Mouse Club song, sing along, just because I'm getting that with Greg next here or toward the end of the day. So,
all right. So here is the next spin.
There you go. Ooh, it makes it sound even fancy. Come on, we'll go. Oh,
to tell the truth.
Oh, Lord.
This is basically truth or dare, but I took out the dare since we never did it.
Right.
So ask us any question, and we have to answer with the truth. Not that we normally don't, but like it's one of those where you can ask anything you want.
Yeah. I mean, Chris, that was my intent to have the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse behind me. It's where I stay, brother. I love this place. I love everything about this, and like that's why I'm doing it.
What is it? Is it Goofy who does this?
Hot dog. Yeah, I mean, they all do that in some way or another at the very end of there. Yeah, but no, I mean the actual Mickey Mouse Club, the good one, the real song from the 50s.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the okay.
I have both because parent and Disney, but yeah, whatever works. Who wins WTC? Ooh, that's a good question.
Well,
whoever wins the tournament, I guess, will face Greg, right?
I do want to bring that up because we haven't been talking about Trivia Challenge, and we've had a couple matches, and another one goes up tomorrow.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the tournament much, which is surprising. No, we don't do the post shows anymore, so we don't really get that immediate analysis.
That's true.
But Tempest and Chris LaBelle was the first match. Tempest victorious in that one. Not a knock to Chris LaBelle whatsoever, but Tempest is a plethora of wrestling knowledge, so he's a tough cookie to get past. And then this last week with Matty Laws and Sadie Nyongi.
That was a good match. Yeah.
That was a good match, yeah. The fact that it went to the tiebreaker, and of course, the one time it goes to a tiebreaker, I don't have my tiebreaker questions prepared. Good job, Greg.
Right.
So I had to scramble and come up with something else. Because I'm like, nobody ties in the tournaments. And then lo and behold. So the next match coming up tomorrow is going to be Combat Wrestling Trivia's Alex Warden taking on True Heel Heats and Alex McCarthy's Wrestling Dailies SP3, which that's going to be a great match too. So tune into that one. And then I'll say it on the episode tomorrow, but there's not going to be a trivia match next Thursday. Because it's Thanksgiving and it's American Thanksgiving. We're not going to air an episode next week because nobody's going to watch wrestling trivia on Thanksgiving. Nobody cares. I get that.
I did decide in talking with JJ that we are going to air something on my channel at 7:00 in the usual time slot. I do one-on-one. I'll have an interview for that week. I'm bringing an episode out that we recorded and edited and it was ready to go. I just didn't publish it because I took that time off in July. So the lost episode of Dads featuring the greatest moments in 25 years of the NWO will be up Thursday night next week. So
there you go. This is a good question. I like this. What match that is definitely bad do you enjoy? As in, what unpopular match do you enjoy?
Jeez.
I feel like I have one lined up and I can't remember what it is. That's a really good question.
It really is. Something I need to think about, to really, because there are some pretty bad matches that I actually enjoy. I mean, take your pick from WrestleMania 2000. I like that because I was there. So,
well, yeah.
Actually, just a bad match I can sit down and actually watch and enjoy at any time. That's a little more difficult because I try not to fix on the negatives so much, especially when it's like I got stuff to do. And let's see if we're going with unpopular matches, the 2015 Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's dog shit. I'm the Rumble guy, and I watch it because it's a Rumble, but that Rumble match is dog shit.
I mean, got any Rumble prior to, I mean, not any Rumble, there are a few of them that are pretty much crap. So
I didn't even rank the Rumble I went to that high.
Damn.
Because it was not much better than 2015.
Well, no, 2004 you went to, right? Or no?
2014.
14.
If I went to 2004, that would have been awesome.
True. Very true. I was going to say 2004 was an awesome Rumble, despite we can't talk about it anymore.
Man, I feel like I have like a guilty pleasure match. My guilty pleasure match is weird because it's Abyss and Sabu in
there you go.
Barbed Wire Massacre,
which I find absurd and hypocritical on levels with you.
I know, but nobody tears their muscle in that match, Jeff.
Oh, okay. Well, it's okay that I watch that, but as long as there's no actual muscle tearing, we
yeah,
can still watch
like
matches.
I can deal with blood, like organs and stuff, and muscles and stuff hanging out. Screw that. Okay, I watched an FMW match where somebody got like freaking sliced open with a scythe. I don't need to see that again. Okay. Like when it gets too gory, that I have a tolerance. That one's fine. That one's a little more tame as a barbed wire match.
There we go. Okay, honestly, that match is
not really bad.
So, that's the thing. Choosing between unpopular and bad is two different things for me, because there are plenty of bad matches that I can watch all the time. But people still find, people love that barbed wire match between Sabu and Terry Funk. People love the death matches from Japan where freaking Foley and Funk are blowing each other to smithereens, but I can't watch them on a regular basis. Some people do, some people don't.
I'm trying to think of a Shane McMahon match that is widely panned, and I can't.
If that's the thing, Shane doesn't have bad matches.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody gets on my shit about Shane McMahon. It's like, name a bad match, and they're like,
right, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what? I'll tell you what. It's a horrid match, and it's a means to an end. Lita versus Stephanie in August 2000 for the title. Like, it's a horrible match, but it's a great ending. It's a feel good ending, and The Rock is just amazing as a referee. It's funnier than hell. That's my pick. There you go.
The APA Barroom Brawl from Vengeance 2003.
That was pretty bad. There you
go. There's your answer. Like that's another one of the guilty pleasures. It's like, this is not a good match by any stretch of the imagination, but it's fun.
It's fun.
It's a bit
Bischoff
of fun.
And Shane.
I liked Bischoff and Shane. I don't care. I told Adam Blampied this too when he put it on his worst matches. It's like, I liked it. Okay. Was it the best technically sound match? No.
Are Shane's matches that way?
Over as a heel. It was just a bunch of ridiculous shit. Was it really a match? No, but I enjoyed it. So if we want to go there, I'll say Shane and Bischoff from SummerSlam 03.
Do not insult Shane McMahon on the Greg Cherry Show. Don't do it. There should be a disclaimer at the bottom at all times. No me chingas Shane on the Greg Cherry Network brand, whatever the hell.
Yeah. So thank you, Brett, for that donation to ask that question. Let's get into some weird laws.
Georgia.
I feel like we go off into the weeds. Like, we're 45 minutes in. This show needs to be longer, damn it.
The thing is, we're preceding Dynamite, so we're having to hurry. So.
Yeah. So let's get into. You know what? Let's push the weird Georgia laws to next week, because
okay,
There are some good ones, and there's a lot of them. Like, there's no way we're getting through as many Georgia laws as there are. So we're pushing Georgia laws back to next week.
Yeah.
I like the
for the record, my idea was to consolidate, get more from last week, which is Florida, and more from California because of where I'm going to be tomorrow. But it just seemed easier to stick with schedule. But we're 45 in, and we're not even to the thing yet. So I'll just open the Q&A form and go for it. Keep more time to get their questions answered.
Yeah. So let's do the Q&A.
See what we got here,
and we'll see what happens with that. Let's find some good questions.
There were quite a few that came in as we were talking here. They came so fast because we were ragging on the NFL. Come on, where'd they go? Okay, we got that one. Oh, Brett, yes, it was announced last night. Like I said, crypto.com, which cryptocurrency is a thing right now. Is that going to be a thing in 20 years when this deal is supposed to end? I don't see that company lasting 20 years. I really don't. But again, I don't pay the bills. I just go watch the games. So what do I know?
I mean, you figure the naming rights are paid for, so it's
right. Well, it was funny. The Great Western Forum remained the Great Western Forum even after everybody moved out. It became a church because they still had the naming rights. So, and then Great Western Bank, I think, went out of business even. So it was just a really weird thing. There we go. Where does the Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black feud go from here? And how did you guys react when Hangman won the title? You all saw my reaction on the air, so.
And I was watching Notre Dame football, so it's not my fault that the Irish schedule the same day as AEW pay-per-views. Okay,
right.
But I did get to see Hangman win the title after the fact, and there was really no other choice.
No,
like I figure if Omega would have retained, even if he would have cheated, I feel like that would have stunted Hangman's momentum.
Right.
You had to put the title on Page. You had to.
Yeah, there was no third choice. There was no option C. There, either he wins or he's dead. That's it.
Yeah. As far as Cody Black, Cody Rhodes and Malachi Black, does the feud have to go on? Does it, I'm not really interested in seeing another match between them because Black's won twice, Cody's won once. I'm not that interested in seeing that again. But what do you do with Malachi Black and the House of Black? Like, where do you go from there?
Yeah, why would there be a House of Black if you're not going to have more than one person? That just seems bizarre to me. And he's got a couple people that are kind of like following it. It's being booked very strange. Like, and not strange that he's strange because but like the actual booking seems off.
Mm.
So,
Daniel, for clarification, the top 5 worst Survivor Series matches, is that specifically the Survivor Series match or matches that happened at the event?
Either way, I've got more than 5.
I can throw in at least a couple Divas Survivor Series matches because those are dog shit. And I don't want to crap on women's wrestling, but those Divas matches were not good.
Back before the Revolution, it was a mess, complete mess. The only one I can think of that was really good, that really stands out as even remotely decent, it's because people involved, was the original Survivor Series, Sherry's team versus Moolah's team. So that was all right.
I don't think I've actually seen that one.
Dude, Survivor Series 87, again, it was literally a promotion. Okay, we need to get Hogan and Andre in the ring together, but we don't want to have a one-on-one. What do we do? Yeah. So that's really how that whole pay-per-view, how the whole concept gestated in the first place. So,
Brett and Daniel, we'll go back to yours since it is specifically the Survivor Series match. Who did Owen Hart and Yokozuna defend the WWF World Tag Team titles against at In Your House 2?
Pretty sure I know, but I'll double check here.
My first guess would be the Smoking Guns, but they're the one, they took the titles from the Guns, didn't they?
Yes, at WrestleMania that year. So that make the most sense, right?
You would think, but
again,
am I
they booked in 95? So
yeah, tag teams in '95. Who the hell would?
Oh, there they are. Okay, go ahead.
Because it wasn't Shawn and Diesel, because that was 3.
Right, and Shawn had that match with Jarrett that went completely south. Jarrett's career wise.
Even though it was a good match.
It was a good match.
If it was like a thrown together tag team, I'd say Razor and the Kid, but I don't know.
No, Razor somewhere on here. Razor and Savio actually faced Men on a Mission after they had turned heel. Oh, so, I'm sorry. King Mabel and Sir Mo. Sorry.
So it was after the King of the Ring. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say that makes more sense it being after King of the Ring then, because of the finals.
Right. Yep.
Who the hell else was a tag team in '95? If it's not the Smoking Guns, who the hell would it be?
Funny enough, the Guns weren't even on this card at all.
So,
Chris says the Quebecers. I don't think Quebecers were even in WWE at that point. They may have been. I don't know.
Was it the New Rockers? Maybe.
No, thank God for that. That wasn't until the following year that mess happened.
I was just thinking Janetti and somebody. Yeah, you did stump me. I'm really bad with in your house trivia.
When you hear the answer, you're gonna be like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" As only you can do. The Allied Powers.
Luger and Bulldog. Damn it.
Yep.
Man, that was so easy, and I completely forgot it existed.
Well, what's so funny?
I completely forgot Luger and Bulldog were a team.
That team in and of itself was a complete last minute oh shit, because if you remember, they turned Bulldog heel before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And then Luger came out there. None of y'all in the crowd, none of us at home knew what Luger was going to do. He helped Diesel, and then he was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really it. So it's crazy. We stumped the master, and it was Brett that did it, which is interesting because he's in the tournament. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out now.
Yeah, you still have a match. Don't worry, I'll stump you with something. Josh,
so,
hopefully everything's okay with your situation.
Yes, hopefully.
What match are you most looking forward to this Sunday? Probably Becky and Charlotte, honestly.
You know, I was gonna say either that or the match between my head and my pillow after the whole thing is over, because God, it's bad on paper. Oof.
They've not been great with the build at all.
No. This is one of the least favorite builds as far as I've ever seen in my 30 years of being a fan. It's horrid.
Yeah. Cody Raines says the point spread championship has been extended to me.
Oh, yeah. So that's Zach. He's on Mikey's show with us every week. Now he's doing the pick'em challenge between him and Mikey. Trying to get 3 people in on it is difficult only because it's not a one-on-one thing, Zach. So trying to so if everybody gets the same points, it's too much of a cluster for my brain to figure out. And Mikey has enough stats in his head to worry about as it is. I'm trying to figure out point spreads between 2 people, challenging point spreads. But if Greg's down to come with us and party, one Tuesday again, he's more than welcome. He knows that. So.
Yeah, the thing is, Tuesdays are my poker night, so that's going to be tough to do.
Exactly. And although we've been going on earlier, you're still already at poker, I think, by 6:30. So,
yeah, that's why it starts.
So there you go. So they do the Chambers Champion matches look. I mean, you got E and Range. You've got the girls. You've got RK Bro against Usos, which I think is going to be a sleeper match. I really think it's going to be better than people think it's going to be. Because you've got Randy Orton, who as of Sunday. Trivia match maybe is the most prolific pay-per-view performer in WWE history. So
Brett mentioned that in the chat earlier, which is an insane thing to think about. Randy Orton's been around WWE for almost 20 years on the main roster.
Yeah.
So
you figure he debuted this coming spring 20 years ago.
That's so
against Bob Holly on SmackDown. So I mean,
listen, Josh, heel Adam Pearce was what we were first introduced to. As
Heel
far as
Adam Pearce. Here, the problem. Oh shit! Hang on.
You upset Jeff so much he knocked over his setup.
Already fell. Okay, so the hell where did the camera go? Jesus, some bitch went flying. All right, well, hang on. I'll find it. Hang on. Let me get this off. That's a terrible shot here. Let's do that. There we go. So you guys got to remember, heel Adam Pearce hasn't been around because he's not wrestling, so he doesn't need to be heel Adam Pearce, right? Yeah. But heel Adam Pearce is the one. I mean, we need to watch along of his match with Gravy not too long ago on that was last year, but earlier this year maybe on Rewind, and it was a great little independent match. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Let's see how that looks. Oh, it looks like shit. Cool. Okay. So what I was trying to say was, before I tore the studio down, heel Adam Pearce with this thing.
Josh mentioned that. My bad, Josh.
Yeah. Heel Adam Pearce was the best Adam Pearce, I think. He was so good as the World Heavyweight Champion, the NWA Champion. I don't necessarily agree with both of them, him and Sonya being heels, but I'm willing to let it play out, as TGS always tries to encourage us to do, until after Sunday, and we'll see what they say. Because it could have just been Adam taking the role of heel GM or whatever because he's trying to get Raw to be better, and then Sony's trying to get SmackDown to be better. So maybe that's what they're going with. I don't know. But we'll see what happens Monday night.
Who's your CFP Final Four? It's so hard to predict.
Should be.
Georgia, easily.
Yes.
If I had my druthers, Georgia, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, Michigan State.
Wow. Look at you.
Or either Michigan State or Ohio State. I don't think Notre Dame leapfrogs anybody, but it's so hard to pick with all the conference championships and stuff. Because I feel like this season, if Notre Dame was in the ACC, they'd be a shoo-in for the ACC championship.
Right.
So, I don't know. Dwayne Atkinson says, any last-minute surprises you think could happen Sunday? They've been building up the 25 years of The Rock, so they haven't advertised him. Maybe he shows up after Reigns and Big E to confront him.
That's what I would do. That's how I'd book it.
Yeah, don't tell anybody he's going to be there.
Right.
And also rumors that Adam Pearce could be secretly forming a heel stable. I saw that right before we came on the air. And yeah, we do need to address the Survivor Series. But yeah, something called scrap metal or something would be was the rumored name. The worst Survivor Series matches of all time. Jerry Lawler and the King's Court or whatever, or the Royal Family against
Clowns Are Us.
Yeah, that one was bad.
That was really bad. Honestly, the Hart family versus Shawn Michaels on the Knights, because it wasn't supposed to be that way in the first place. Yes, it did get the own heel turn, but the match itself was a mess. Ray Combs being the announcer was a mess.
Bobby Heenan on commentary was freaking gold, though.
As he should have been, as he always was.
Yeah,
but
he was just in rare form during that match, and it was hilarious.
He was doing everything he could to fill Lawler's role as far as picking on Stu Hart. So that was great. But the match itself, other than the Owen program starting, was pretty much a wreck. Because it wasn't supposed to be Shawn, it was supposed to be Jerry. And they had the whole rape charge that was thrown against him falsely. So just a complete train wreck, like I said. That's bad. The Doinks on a Mission.
And with the Bushwhackers,
the Bushwhackers have been on a mission against Bam Bam's team. Oof. Mm-hmm. Oof.
Basically, look at the new generation era and you'll find them.
I mean, really. I didn't mind the Teamsters versus, I forget what the babyface team was called, Razors, whatever it was. But it was bad because it was short.
The bad guys,
because the bad guys, there you go. Because Sean kicked Diesel accidentally on purpose again, and then the entire heel team bailed out, tried to break him up. It was like, that was it, really? So
you figure Diesel eliminated 4 people, and then
right,
they ran out there. So basically, your answers are the New Generation Survivor Series matches,
yes,
and a couple of the Divas matches in the Ruthless Aggression era. That's pretty much your answers.
There you go. There it is.
Sums it up pretty easily.
I love it. There you go.
All right, that is it for us. Go watch Dynamite. Go enjoy Dynamite, and we thank you very much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, I'll see you tomorrow for Wrestling Trivia Challenge, 6:00 Eastern. Check it out. Alex Warden versus SP3. And we will see you next week for a pre-Thanksgiving edition of the Greg Cherry Show. Have a good night, everybody.